I haven't actually ever spoken about it. There was this pressure that I put on myself to hold this image of like Sebastian the footballer. It was always Sebastian and football. If now I stop playing football, it's like, what is Sebastian? Who is he?
Wow.
I was a white footballer. I did stand out.
Yeah.
But that sort of helped me in the sense that people knew who I was.
Do you know why some white Zimbabweans don't go to certain areas in Zim?
They don't have any business being there. Like they might sell a product there, but their like work or their shop or whatever it is. The first time I went, I remember like to Mbare, I was getting the worst looks. And people were like, what are you doing here? One of the projects that I've actually proposed in Zim is to break that.
What would you say to people who may politicize you meeting the president?
He is the number one figure in the country. So obviously people are going to have opinions.
Was you gifted Davido this piece of jewelry?
That was one of the toughest things I had to face actually.
Really?
Because I got a lot of hate on that, and I got a lot of things that a lot of people didn't see. And I don't really talk about it, but like I'm happy to speak about it.
Hello guys, welcome to an exciting episode of With Nyasha Michelle. And you might be wondering, why is she holding a football? I didn't know Nyasha could score a hat trick. Well, I can't, but I do know someone who's got the football skills, and he's joining me today on With Nyasha Michelle, and I'm gonna pass him the ball right now. It's Sebastian Summerfield.
How are you doing?
I am
Nyasha?
good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, good. Happy to be back in the UK for a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, all good.
The 2 seconds that you are in.
Yeah, I tend to run away from the cold. Yeah.
You know, I don't blame you. A whole bunch of people would love the opportunity to do that if they could, but cost of living.
Hey, cozy.
Kozi. Shamari Kozi Mawan
Mawan
Jayo.
Jayo.
Mawan is the best thing I can
Yeah,
actually
honestly,
say.
I think people need to use Mawan as they should add it to the dictionary. It's such a good word. Like I'm telling you, I think so.
What about those who don't know what Mawan is? Please,
If
what
you
is
know,
your
you know.
definition of
Mawan
Mawan?
is just like, hey, Mawan. You know, when you just you're speechless, you don't have words to express what
Yeah.
you want to express.
Yeah,
It's just like Mawan.
yeah. Like,
For real.
yeah, that's why all of us Zimbabweans know that word. Like you've
Yeah.
used it.
No, I think I've used it at least 100 times a day in text. Even at uni, I'll be using it, and they'll look at me like, "What's this guy saying?" Yeah.
Even at uni,
Yes.
they don't know what the heck you're talking about.
Hence why I use it.
Okay, all right. I do want to talk about the fact that even though it's cold, even though you're only doing a flyby visit to the United Kingdom before you make your way back to Zim, it's also your birthday today.
Yes.
Happy birthday!
Thank you.
But you know, I've got a bone to pick with you because you only told me it's your birthday when you got here.
Yeah, because like, okay. So every day is like a birthday for me, you know,
Oh.
because I'm blessed. I've got loving family, loving friends. So for me, it's like, why celebrate me today? Celebrate it every day and celebrate like everybody instead of just one person. So that's for me, like, it's just one of those.
Is that a thing you've always had? Like, you never really celebrate your birthday?
No. When I was younger, I was like, it's my day.
Yeah.
Where are my presents? Where are my messages?
Yeah.
But as you get older, like, especially when I moved from home at 17, like, the birthday for me was like one thing that connected me to everybody.
Yeah.
Because it was like, oh, it's Seb's day. So instead of it me like about being about me, I was
Yeah.
like, no, it's about like community and friends and everybody. So it's like I celebrate the people around me, sort of type thing.
Okay. Well, as we celebrate you on the podcast, I'm going to take the ball from you. All right. So we will keep it right here. We'll keep it right down there. And then you can be as comfortable as you can be here on With Nyasha Michelle.
With Nyasha. Cooking with Nyasha. That's the name you should, I think, Cooking with Nyasha.
Why don't we do that?
Why not? Because like cooking, you know, you can bika something if you want.
Yeah.
Or you can just cook, you know, on your pod, just cooking.
Okay, so it's my first episode. You're my first guest on Cooking with Nyasha.
Okay.
What are we cooking?
Yo, So it depends. Like, I think we have to take it traditional. It has to be sadza.
100%.
Like, okay, that was a silly thing for me to say. Like, obviously it's sadza.
Yeah.
Muriwo.
Mm-hmm.
Nyama, I could go for some sadza now. I'm telling you. You know, there's one. I haven't found a place in London to have sadza.
I think that is a massive problem that I unfortunately have a bone to pick with yet other Zimbabwean people. Because do you know how many people have come to me and said, "Oh, where can I eat your
Yeah.
Zimbabwean food?" I'm like, I don't know.
That's the thing. Like, I heard.
You heard.
I don't know if it's true.
Okay.
So don't put
We
me
ain't
to
gonna
it.
quote you.
Don't quote me, but
Okay.
I heard at the Zim embassy that they have you also heard this?
I have.
I don't know. I feel like it's just like a thing that people know if you know, but like interesting. It could be something to explore.
Is this the Fridays thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. So clearly people know that we don't spend time at the Zim embassy. And then secondly, we don't know what happens there. Because right now we're just speculating. Because someone actually, in
Yeah.
pre-COVID, someone invited me to the Zim embassy for party.
I heard there's
Apparently
a bawa
on Friday.
there.
Yeah,
I heard there's a bawa.
My Zimbabwean. Yes.
No, but so they should publicize it if it is. Like the Zim embassy should publicize if they have restaurants. Because
Do you-
I would be there every day. Genuinely.
For the sadza or for the wawa?
Eish. No comment. No comment. What do you mean for the wawa? Come on.
Well, you can't have your sadza without your drink, you know. Maybe that's why it's not public,
I think, yeah,
Sebastian.
probably.
Or it
Who
doesn't
knows?
happen. Who knows?
What's today? Tuesday?
Friday, we know where
Friday.
we're going.
If you can't find me on Friday,
I know where you are.
you know where I am.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
fine. So I'll find this seasoned footballer there. But before that, let's just talk firstly about you and
Okay, yeah.
why you're here and all of this stuff when it comes to you and
Yeah.
your life. But my first question though is I'm very keen to find out from you, like, what was a moment that really defined your path?
I think the day actually that really set me on like, okay, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life
Yeah.
was when I went to watch the World Cup with my dad in
Yeah.
SA in 2010.
No way.
So I was fortunate enough to go watch the final.
Wow.
So I got to see Spain versus Netherlands.
Mm.
And I think, obviously I was young. I think I was like 10.
Mm-hmm.
So I was very young. Oh, was I 10? No. I was young, actually 8 or 9.
Wow.
But that was like my first real like memory of football.
Yeah.
And from then I was like, wow, just the atmosphere and like the love and the passion I saw that people had from around the world. And I thought to myself, look, we're in South Africa and there's hundreds of thousands of people here watching Spain versus Netherlands. Like it's
Yeah.
two random countries, nothing to do with Africa. So that was one of my earliest memories. But the point where I was like, okay, this is now serious was probably the national team. So when I got called up for the national team trials, when under 17 trials,
Yeah.
and I didn't actually make it to the national team that time. That was the first time I was called for the trials. I did it, but I didn't make the final cut.
Okay.
When I didn't make the final cut, it's tough, when you're like a 15, 16-year-old and you want to play football. Every kid wants to play football.
Yeah.
So when you don't make the cut, it's like you think to yourself, is it worth it? Should I carry on?
Yeah.
There was just like this fire in me that said, nah, like I need to
Keep
prove
at it.
to myself that I'm going to do it. So that was probably the point where I was like, okay, let's be serious. No more Bauer, no more. I was just focused football and gym. Like,
No more Bauer. Wait. What type of African child were you?
what do you mean?
Yo. Saka, even when
Bauer
you were like
doesn't-
15.
Doesn't mean
you
I
were-
had to go out to the club.
Okay,
the
what
club.
if you weren't in the club?
I was
where
at the
would we
homie's
have
house,
found you?
Like Sam Levy's movies, you go to the movie house and you just be chilling there like we're watching, Despicable Me. No, we're not really
From like
watching, are we?
Bauer to very innocent.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
were you at, what's that place? Freeman has a song about it. The place where everyone... Kuchiko. This is so bad. Freeman, help me out. Joiner City. Yes. Where you
No. You won't catch me at Joiner. You won't catch me there.
Wait, is Joiner not like...
Joiner's popping, but like
Yeah.
it's like city centre.
Yeah, why not? What, you wouldn't be there? Why
Well,
not?
not as a 14-year-old boy.
Oh,
I think it's
okay.
it's a
Oh.
different level of power now. You see, there's power and there's power.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Okay. So then now we know that.
yeah. You'll catch me at Joiner now though.
Okay.
Easy.
What happens at Joiner?
What happens at Joiner stays at Joiner, innit?
Maybe Sebastian.
Next time you come to Zim,
Okay.
Joiner
Okay.
from the airport.
Joiner is it?
Straight.
You know, it's so busy. I don't
Yeah, no,
mind the
Zim-
business.
Zim is crazy.
Yeah. I don't mind the business of Zim. I don't mind the business of Harare. I think it's really, for me, I love it. But also at the same time, I just wonder, okay, God, I'm like, where am I going? What am I doing?
Yeah.
Everyone has like
Hustling.
everyone is
hustling.
hustling.
Zim people are hustlers. Like
Yeah.
I think people don't realize, but like if you come to town, like if you go CBD, you will realize like it's serious. Like people
Yeah.
are hustling.
They are.
And hey, there's my deals. My deals is everywhere. And that's the beauty of it. That's what I love about
Yeah.
Zim. Like it's just no matter what it is, if someone's just flipping phones or if they're just selling tomatoes or
Yeah.
selling shoes, there's just like this hustle and bustle of it that it's like you can't get over it. It's just so quick and so it's really good for learning. For me, I learned so much like
Okay.
in that
To kind of
environment.
just be sharp and know how to.
Be sharp, know how to talk, how to sell a product,
Yeah.
you know, sell something that someone doesn't even want.
Hey.
It's just yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna put you through the test of selling me something that I don't want, but what I want to know actually, firstly, is what is it like for you as a white person there? Because you
When
you know
in town?
when you're in town. Because for me, for example,
Mm.
something I've noticed, not just in Zim, when I go to certain places, I'll never forget when I was in Egypt, yeah, and I was with a group of people, and we just come from like an event. We all get out of the combi. We're in a combi on a little minibus, and then we're taken to one of the most famous markets where you have to go and get food there. So we're like, okay, great, and it was myself and one other black woman.
Okay.
Everybody else was of a different race or ethnicity, and maybe one or two black men. Can I tell you the amount of Habibis? Oh, come, sister, Nubian queen, blah, blah, blah. It was, after a while, it got so uncomfortable, and the men had to, like, kind of shield me. Even when they shielded me, the people would,
Going through the But
like,
for
oh,
what?
come,
For
come,
what?
sister,
Trying to like get you because they knew you were foreign, or is it like more so because you're a woman?
I think it's because I was a black woman. Because the black guys, they didn't really get that. And I actually I remember there was a white guy next to me. This guy, I think he was Italian. And I could see he was so uncomfortable.
Shame.
And when we got into the restaurant, he was like,
Sorry. And
I'm sorry. And I was like, oh, you don't have to apologize. So when I'm in other places and even when I'm in Zim sometimes, people can see, this one, she's not from here.
It's not authentic.
Sister, Mavaku, UK, you come from UK, like, so
yeah.
if I stand out, you must stand out.
I guess to some extent, I'm fortunate though because in Zim because I played football and football was widely known there.
Yeah.
And because I was a white footballer, I did stand out.
Yeah.
But that sort of helped me in the sense that people knew who I was.
Yeah.
So if I was to go to town, like, it's not really a problem. Like, obviously, people will want to come to me and try hustle me out of stuff. But it's fine because that's, like, I understand that's a part of it.
Yeah.
But I never feel uncomfortable. I've never felt, like, unsafe.
Yeah.
I know that there's a lot of people there that if I was a white footballer, I did stand out.
Yeah.
But that sort of helped me in the sense that people knew who I was. Need anything, I can call on them. And
Yeah.
those are my guys, you know?
Yeah. This is something
So-
that when I first met you, I got this sense that you're really part of like the community. When I also have gone to Zim, something I've observed is that because I've got friends who are black Zimbabwean and also white Zimbabwean, and something I've noticed is there's certain areas I will never see white Zimbabweans.
You'll see me there.
Okay, I'll see you.
Yeah.
But why don't we see... That's what I'm saying, because you
Yeah.
are part of the community. Do you know why some white Zimbabweans don't go to certain areas in Zim or in Harare?
Well, okay, it depends on the type of areas now we're talking. Like, if you're talking, like, in the communities, like Mbare
Yeah.
or, like, DZ, it's because they don't have any business being there in the sense of, like,
Wow.
there's no like they might sell a product there, but their like work or their shop or whatever it is not there. So it's not based there. It didn't grow out of Mbare or DZ or Epworth or wherever it is.
Yeah.
The reason I'm there is because my projects are in the community. So when I go to Mbare, it's empowering people of Mbare.
Okay.
It's like it's a weird thing, but like it is strange to be fair. But like when you look at like Harare, because unfortunately Harare is separated by north and south side of Samora Machel. So it's like,
Yeah.
which side of Samora are you from? So once you cross that like invisible like boundary, it's a different world. And the first time I went, I remember like to Mbare, I was getting the worst looks, and people were like,
Mad.
"What are you doing here? This is not where you're meant to be." And one of the projects that I've actually proposed in Zim is to break that, to bring kids from that side of Samora and bring them to the other side where there's the private schools, like where I grew up. So I grew up in Newlands, and I went to a private school in Mount Pleasant. But I played football on the weekends with kids from Mbare, from DZ. So like I saw both sides of that Samora every single day.
Yeah.
So every week it was different for me. So I never felt like awkward or out of place.
Yeah.
But I can see why some people, and vice versa, like some people from the other side of Samora might feel like, oh, this is like white area. Or, but to be fair, I think things have changed a lot in Zim recently.
Have they?
Yeah, like you'll see a lot of people mixing and mingling between.
So I have
areas.
seen that. I've definitely seen that a lot. And I've wondered whether it's just some of the places that I go to. Do you know what I mean? But I think it's very good to see something like that because I think our country needs that. I don't think there should be that room for that like racial separation and segregation in that way
Of course,
anymore. But I'm also very conscious of the fact that I'm a Zimbabwean who doesn't live in Zim.
Yeah.
So maybe some people watching this may be like, hey, how's Zim? You don't know what you're talking about. Do you know what I mean?
It's also very subjective in the sense that like my reasonings for being there is very different for other people's reasons.
Yeah.
So like I said, it just depends on what you're doing in your life. So if you've got business, to be there.
Yeah.
Because it's also like, it's very, closed off. Like you can't just walk into these communities because at the end of the day, these are people's homes, these are people's businesses. They don't want random people coming in. And not because you're white or you're black. It's just, you're not meant to be in this hood or this area.
So there is that
It's a
mentality in Zim?
it's
like,
a
oh,
pride
you're not
thing as well.
meant to be here.
It's not really like out there. It's like an unspoken sort of rule.
Okay.
Like when you go to Mbare, for example, you don't just rock up and say, I'm here. Like there's certain people that you need to speak to and see to go, and for them to like say, okay, this is where you should go, this is where you shouldn't go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Just based off community protection of their people. Like everyone is Zimbabwean, yes.
Yeah.
But it is different communities. Same way like where I live, a guy who I've never seen before, if they're walking there, I'll think to myself, oh, what's this guy doing here? Like it's not that he's not meant to be here, but it's just like, what is he doing here? Like, why is he here? And I think it just comes down to this whole thing of like protecting your community, protecting who you are.
Yeah.
And then you've got those social areas where you saw that mix and mingle.
Yeah.
So like going into communities is very different to mixing in like social spots.
Yeah.
So it's not normal for people just to go and
That's
be there.
very
But
interesting.
Town, like a lot of like white people, I don't see a lot of white people in town.
Yeah. That's something that and I guess because of what I mentioned earlier when it comes to the places that I go to, where I just see a mixture of people. When I then go to town, I've noticed that I'm like, how come I don't see no white people here? Where y'all at?
Yeah.
And then I remember we went to this shopping mall space. Where was it? I don't know I think it was Borodale or something like that. I don't remember.
Sam Levy's probably.
Probably. And they had like a beautiful market. It was sometime during the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
And they had like a beautiful market.
Flea market.
Yeah. When I went there, there are many white people
Of course.
there. Do you know what I mean?
Of course.
And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like this is...
So that's what really interesting because all the people that come to those weekend markets, they're day-to-day traders in town.
Ah.
So if you want to, like Suzanne from like Mount Pleasant, like if she wants to go buy something on the Saturday that's only there on Saturday, Sunday, she's going to Borodale or Avondale Flea Market.
Yeah.
But Suzanne doesn't realize that she can go to Mbare or to town on a Tuesday afternoon and buy the exact same thing, probably even cheaper.
But Suzanne wouldn't be comfortable going there.
Exactly. So it's like they bring it the products there, to the comfortable area.
Yeah.
Which I can understand, because obviously with things in the past and just how things are, people have this like internal scaredness of like, it's not, I don't, it's the unknown. Like I don't go there. I'm not familiar with it. It's unfamiliarity. It's like something could possibly happen.
Okay.
And you see the stories online and stuff. So people are scared.
Yeah.
But I always tell people, don't judge it until you go, because town's beautiful. Like I love it, and it's like I said, the hustle and bustle. I love that. I love seeing people every day just trying to make ends. You know, it's cool.
So you have got like your foot in both worlds, or both of your feet in both worlds, because of course you're established with your career, you've got your family, etc., and then you've got your foundation and everything else that you're doing, which we're going to talk about in a moment. But I want to kind of go back to you and your dad have seen those two obscure countries play the World Cup, but it's like ding, like okay, this is beautiful, this is something I might want to do. To you are possibly going to play for the national team, even though you don't make it. But like, what happened between that time for you to actually decide, I want to start pursuing this? All right, I just have to interrupt the podcast for this exciting opportunity: home ownership. If you're dreaming of owning a modern, secure home in Zimbabwe, listen up. This is for you. Velda Estates is making that dream into a reality with Spitzkop Gardens, a brand new gated community to the west of Harare. They've got stands available right now, and the best part, you get to build your home from a selection of sleek, modern designs. So whether you're planning your first home or looking for a smart investment, this is the place to be. So don't wait. These stands won't last forever. Hit up Velda Estates on Facebook, Instagram, their website, or you can even call them. All the details are on the screen. So get started on building the future you deserve. Now back to the show.
So I have to give a lot of credit to my parents, because they allowed me to express myself in however I wanted. So whatever path I chose, I knew, okay, my parents are going to back me.
Oh.
So I always played football my whole career. So I was at HIS, Harare International School. And for me, that was the best thing my parents could have ever done for me, is put me in that school, because it was so open and I learned so much about so many different cultures and so many different people, that it actually made me feel comfortable in finding who I was as a person.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sort of like obstructed, and they said, no, you have to study and this is it. Like that tunnel vision, they allowed you to do whatever you wanted. So naturally, I was always playing football. And then when I started playing competitively, I was very young. I was like 12 or 13. And then we had like a physical education class. And our PE teacher was actually sick or something. And the head coach for the first team, for HIS first team, like substituted for him. And we were playing football just out of the blue. And he saw like, wow, because I was skilling all my friends. Like I was the best in my class. So it was like, it was easy for me.
Yeah.
So he said, hey, you're really good. Like come and train with the senior team. And I was like 13 and I was playing with 17-year-olds.
Mad.
So I went and I played and I actually held my own. So I was actually doing really well. And then I made it into the first team from then. And then that was my first real like exposure to like, wow, okay, I'm actually decent at this. And I think the coach even messaged my parents, because there was a tournament that they always used to have. But I was literally too young to play in that tournament.
Wow.
Like the school didn't allow me because I was too young. So I needed to get permission from my parents to play in it.
Wow.
So the coach messaged my parents and say, oh, please, can you give Sebastian permission? And in that moment, I think my parents also sat down and spoke to me saying, listen, like, if you want to take this seriously, you have to take it like a career. Same way people are focusing on school, you have to focus on football. So it took me about 2-3 years to like take them seriously, in the sense of like stop other sports and stop like messing around. So when I was 15, that's when I said, okay, I'm done. I'm focused on only football.
Yeah.
Because I played other sports. I played basketball and volleyball as well at school.
Which did you enjoy the most outside of football?
Outside of football?
So take football out of it. If you had to choose basketball or volleyball.
I played so many sports, Nyasha. Like I played tennis, table tennis, badminton, everything. I played table tennis national team when I was Yeah, it's a funny story. So when I was in grade 5, I got an Achilles injury and I couldn't play football at all.
Yeah, I've heard you talk about this before.
So I decided to play table tennis because it wasn't too straining and I was moving.
Yeah.
And it was my first time ever playing, but I just fell in love with it. And I started getting good and started competing. And it just turned out that I was good enough to make it to like national team. So I played it, and then I got my leg healed. And I was like, okay, cool. I have to drop table tennis and play football.
back
But
to
if I was to choose a sport, it had to be either volleyball, tennis. Like for me, tennis was one sport that I still play tennis to this day. I love it so much.
Okay. I
Yeah.
like tennis,
Tennis is good.
but I kind of suck at it. And also, the weather is terrible because there is a tennis court where I live, and I'm like looking at it like I drive by it. I'm like, oh, soon,
Tennis.
soon,
Tomorrow.
when the sun comes out.
Yeah,
Which
no.
will be in a while because this country's cold. So I do like it. But then I also feel like some people have a knack, like a natural sports
Yeah.
knack. Would you say that's what you
Yeah,
have? 'Cause
I'm
if you-
very lucky that any sport I pick up, like for example, paddle as well. I play a load of paddle right now.
Paddle?
Paddle.
What's that?
No.
Yes.
Yeah,
What's that?
come on. You don't know paddle?
Oh my gosh, is that something that I'm supposed to know as a
Yes.
Zimbabwean?
No, not as a Zimbabwean, as a person.
Oh, okay, as a person.
Yes.
Yo, Jesus.
I'm sure you've seen it. It's that sport that's like, it looks like mini tennis, but they're in a glass box and you can hit it against the wall.
What the Ross? Huh? People play mini tennis
Yes.
in a glass box. It's giving Squid Game.
No, no, man. No, it's genuinely like you hit it against the wall and it goes.
Apparently, everyone else knows
everyone
what it
knows.
is because in the studio, they're
Yeah.
like telling me what
Surely,
it is. I
guys,
don't
like,
know what it is.
she has to know
You guys
what it
know
is.
what it is?
Everyone knows what paddle is. You, especially being on social media. Yeah.
Don't shame me like that.
I've cut you from cooking with Nyasha. You can't be the
You
host.
can't go.
You can't be the host if you don't know what paddle is.
But I know how to cook sadza.
Okay.
Nemazondo, nemuriwo.
Whoa. Okay.
Yes.
What's
so-
your favorite Zim food?
My favorite Zim food is sadza. Derere, which is okra.
Whoa, okay.
I love that. Oh my gosh. And then nyama of any kind.
Oh,
Bruvos
okay.
is a must.
Really?
Yeah. But also something I like that I don't know I don't know how many adults like it. I love lacto.
Super lacto. Lacto is crazy.
I love lacto. And it
Shuma
reminds me
mayo?
of my go-go.
Mayo?
I hate mayo.
Banana mayo. You don't-
The way that they have commercialized
And
that
diversified?
drink, diversified is the word.
It is like, I remember I used to drink mayo like just the basic one, and it was like, hey, okay, yeah, mixing it, and it's like got the bits in your mouth.
It was nasty. My dad was like, Nasha, do you want one? I said, no, I hate it. He's like, you don't like it. Look, that's the one thing my dad just drinks. I can't.
No, mayo is like if you get like banana or
But my hair is the fermented one, but it's not alcohol, right?
no, it's not.
Yeah, exactly. That's the one my dad drinks because he
Yeah.
doesn't drink alcohol. And I remember like he tried to get me to drink it. I was like, this is just nasty. It tastes like, how do I describe it for people who don't know it? How do you describe my hair to someone who
It's
doesn't
like
know what it
drinking
is?
yeast water. Or it's like if you ever had like yeast and you put it in water and you drink that. But then you add like banana flavoring or
Yeah.
like chocolate. Like they've made
There's
some
chocolate.
They've made some crazy flavors.
They taste good.
As a patriotic Zimbabwean, I have to say everything tastes good in
You
Zimbabwe.
literally look like someone was holding a gun to your head.
Okay, if I'm in Zim, I wouldn't drink mayo with my sadza. I would drink mazoe.
Of course, you must have Mazawe.
Which flavor though? Now this is a game breaker, hey.
Listen.
Like I'll walk off the show if you have like a bad flavor choice.
Oh man. Okay, I'm gonna go with the safe one, which is orange.
Okay, orange crush.
all the way.
Yeah, orange crush
Orange
is
crush.
it's that's you've done well there.
That's our thing. Wait, what would have been a deal breaker? What would have made you walk out?
For me, like the cream soda one, and that's a like unpopular opinion here because people love it.
Yeah.
It's just like, you know that cough you get after you. Zimbabweans will know what I'm talking about. That cough after you put too much mazoa, and it's like, hey,
too much.
like it's just, no, but like yeah,
I like it. So when I'm that typical annoying diasporan. When I come from Zim, I make sure that my suitcase has got a lot of space for a whole bunch of things. My putty, my things. By the way, I don't like my things. I know it's an unpopular opinion. I can
What?
see you
You don't
looking
like
at me like
things?
that. I think my things are so overrated on so many levels. Like my things is these little tiny crisps, which I feel don't have as much flavor, and I can
They
see
are the most
way.
flavorful thing. Things. That's crazy.
I feel like I'm eating plastic, ne?
Whoa. That's
I know
bad.
this is
We should do
unpopular.
a Zim snack review.
Do you know how I was gonna say that to
Let's
you?
do it.
I was gonna say that
Let's
to
do
you.
it.
When I come to Zim,
Things-
we're not doing it here. No. When I come to Zim, we're gonna do
How
a
about
little special
corncels?
thing.
Corncels. Conkels. I don't know how to say it for you to understand. Conkels.
I need to Google them.
No, please. Oh, conkels are the best. But Nyasha, you're lying. Things are the most seasoned. You know, sometimes you pick it up and we even red because it's got so much spice.
So, do you know what I do with my things? I will eat them.
Mm-hmm.
I think because I feel pressure and because I've spent money.
Yes,
But-
as diasporan, you have to.
I was, oh yeah,
Yeah, conkels.
these.
Conkels.
100%.
Those are elite.
Those
That's top
are
tier.
beautiful. I'm gonna do this. Okay, so these are conkles. I don't know if you guys can see
Those
them.
are elite.
Those are elite. I would rather those.
Okay, that's
Then-
fine. You've saved yourself there.
Yeah, I
but
have,
things are like an elite snack. For me, things, conkles, biltong,
Biltong.
chipsticks, salt and vinegar.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Chipsticks
I'll do
or
that.
something.
I went into a macro once, and by the time I got to the
Check out.
checkout, I just had to pay using the empty packet of the
Yo.
biltong. Because
Yeah,
I just
'cause
ate it all, man.
That's what I love about Zim as well. You go there and
ate
you're
it
just
all.
drinking things while you're walking
It's
around.
really bad.
That is a bad thing. Like,
At least I paid for it.
no, at least you paid for it.
Yeah.
I also pay for it.
My cousin looked like to me like I'm a wild animal. I said,
No,
bruh,
you have
you live
to.
here. I don't. Yeah.
Oh, and sweet buns. Yellow
Hey.
sweet buns. You know when you can just
Neti yago. With your
hey
tea.
Tanganda. Wow.
So now I
Yeah.
feel like this episode of With Nyasha Michelle is just me and Sebastian just reminiscing
on everything.
He gets to go back home very soon
Yeah.
to enjoy this. I don't, not yet. So if you want to sponsor my flight to Zimbabwe, please, you are welcome to.
Click the link in the description.
We just might. If
wow.
there's no link still, you can get in touch, okay?
Send us a DM and we'll get her to
You
come
see?
to Zim.
Yes, please. And then when it comes to your work in Zim, anyways, so you finished in actually no, it's not even that you finished. So you got to the stage of you could potentially
Yeah.
get selected.
Yeah.
That didn't happen. How did you deal with that not happening? How did you deal with that rejection?
I think it was just the support of like my girlfriend at the time,
Yeah.
my parents, just because they said, listen, like it's okay not to be taken.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's completely normal. My mom was telling me she didn't get selected for her first job. You know, like it was like the thing is people don't realize when you do football trials, it's just a job interview. It's just mine's physical.
Yeah.
Yours are just verbal. Like it's just that's the only difference. But I just kept working hard.
Yeah.
And I sort of also saw how much it meant to my parents to make me happy and also what they invested in me. So I was like, I have to pay them back in me working hard.
Yeah.
So I gave it my all and then I created a CV, highlight video, and I sent that out to 3,000 clubs when I was in Zim at the time.
3,000.
3,000 football clubs. I emailed them everywhere around the whole world.
Wow.
Denmark, Iceland, UK, everywhere. And I got, from 3,000 emails, I got, I think, 7 replies.
Wow.
4 of them were just blatant, like, you're not good enough. 2 of them were, we'll see. And then there was only one, Coach Patterson, Matty Patterson from Gateshead, who sent me an email saying, listen, we'll take you on trial. And I think he sort of had a soft spot because he's South African. So he was like, I want to give this kid a chance.
Yeah.
So I remember I got the email in November. I can't remember the year. Must have been 2019 or maybe even 2018. And I went for the trial in March. And mind you, I'd been to many trials before. I was in Belgium, I was in Czech, I was everywhere. I just never made it. So for me, this last trial at Gateshead FC was the team in Newcastle.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you.
Sorry.
Because some of us.
No,
Phew.
in Newcastle.
Okay.
So I remember flying with my parents to Newcastle,
Yeah.
and I was just thought to myself, it was the first time my parents came for a trial with me.
Yeah.
I was like, I just have to make it. Like, there's no way I can't make it, because if I don't make it this time, that's it. Like, I have to find a job, or like I have to go to uni or something.
At this stage, you're how old?
17. So
Okay.
I was finishing school. I was in last 2 years of my school at HIS. So went for the trial, and I bawled out. Like, I just said, listen, I'm just gonna do it. I played it really good, and then the coach said, okay, we'll be in touch, and he didn't message me for like 2-3 months, and I was like, damn, I've lost
You thought
it.
that's it.
So I remember looking at unis. I was looking at like UC Davis, like UCLA, like all these unis in America. And then one day I was like, oh, let me check my football email. Because I was like, I didn't care anymore. I
Yeah.
literally stopped playing football. I stopped training, everything. Checked my football email, and I just see an email from him. And I was like, there's no way. And it says like, it just said, Dear Sebastian. So all the emails start like that.
Yeah.
And I opened it, and I didn't even call my parents because I didn't want them to be disappointed or anything. So I opened it, and it said like, we're so glad to offer you like a scholarship. And I was like, there's no way this is real.
Wild.
So I phoned my dad was at work, called my mom. I just started crying. I was like, I can't believe it. Like, we actually did
Aw.
it. So finished school in Zim, moved to Newcastle in March of 2019, must have been, not 2020. And then unfortunately, during that time, there was the COVID
Yeah.
problem. So a lot of my season was cut short. So I moved to Newcastle from Zim. I didn't see my parents for a long time. Like, I flew by myself, moved everything by myself. Was training every day, playing. They had a pathway for me to go to like the first team, but then the COVID hit, and then just it ruined a lot for me. So I decided to come back to Zim. I was still signed at Gateshead, but I decided to come back to Zim. And it was just sort of like coincidence. During that time, the under-20 national team was holding trials. But because I wasn't playing football, the coaches didn't even like put me on the shortlist, because they're like, he's not playing at a club. Like, we can't have somebody who doesn't have a club. So I messaged I can't remember, I think I messaged one of my coaches to say, Coach, do you think it's possible I can just train with the national team? Like, I don't want to be selected. I just want to train with them. I don't need to be selected. I just want to keep fit for my season. They're like, yeah, sure, come. So I remember first session I came in, I was the only one wearing a different kit. The guys were like in camp or whatever. And I played really well. So the coach came to me and was like, Seb, like, are you at a team? I was like, yeah, actually, I signed at Gateshead. I'm just trying to get fit again. He was like, okay, just come tomorrow. So I came the next day. And he was like, okay, come tomorrow again. So like all of a sudden I was like integrated into this camp. And I asked the coach, I was like, so coach, am I on trial now? He's like, yeah, just keep coming and just keep playing.
Yeah.
And then the turning point for that whole national team, like the under-20 national team, was there was a friendly game. We played against a Premier League team in Zim. And by nature, I'm a right winger. So I play right wing football position.
What that mean?
Well,
You
right
play
wing.
from the right?
Yeah, right
You're
side.
on the
right
right side of
right
the...
side of the pitch.
Oh gosh.
So like,
guys,
when you see, yeah, gosh, I'm like, what?
I know.
That's very bad.
You know what? It's not that it's very bad. I didn't want to assume. My brain did think that probably is what it means, but I was
Yeah,
like,
no.
let
So
me
right
ask.
wing is the like attacking position. It's like where Messi used to play, for example. Right wing.
Oh, yeah, listen, I don't even know where Messi used to play.
Eish.
Like, literally, I am...
Okay,
like,
no, he's at the top, close to the goal,
close
scoring
to the goal.
goals.
All right.
So I was naturally a right winger,
Okay.
and the coach was like calling out the team. She's like, we need a left back, which is now the complete opposite. So it's like
On the other side.
other side defending.
Ah, okay, cool.
And I was like, hey, you know what? Let me just do it. I want to play. So I said, Coach, I'll play. And everyone started laughing at me like, oh, Seb, come on, like, you can't play. I was like, no, I'll play. And the coach was like, okay, we'll give you a chance. So I played left back, never played it in my life, ever. And probably that was one of the best football games I've ever played in my life.
Really?
In a position I've never played before.
Okay.
And the coach came up to me and said, listen, Seb, like, we like the fact that even though it's not your position, you were willing to do it for the team. And we want to take you to South Africa for the tournament. Like, you'll be representing Zim. I remember, like, coming home, because I had to go to camp every single day from home, because I wasn't meant to be in the camp. I was just there visiting. So I remember driving home every morning, like, 4:30 a.m. Had to wake up. 4 o'clock wake up, 4:30 go to camp.
Yeah.
Come home at, like, 8 p.m. So I remember driving home. It was the last night of camp, and my mom was like, "Okay, so how was your last day?" I was like, "Yeah, mom, I'm going to South Africa tomorrow, like national team."
Must have been
And they
so
were like,
wild.
it was so crazy. It was like such a quick turn of events as well.
Mm.
And then the next day we went to the airport, met the team. I didn't think it was real. I thought
It
I
was
was
like
just,
that quick.
oh yeah, literally next day they said like, you come to the airport.
Hectic.
So went to the airport, went to South Africa, represented Zim at Kosafa. And then I think in that moment, like when I was sitting in the dressing room and like I've been like, damn, looking around at all my friends and everyone's like wearing the kit and like, okay, this is it. Like
This is you.
this is national team. This is
Yeah.
the biggest stage, the best players in the whole country of my age.
Mm.
So I was like, okay, let me just play hard. Let me just do it. Went, played really, really well my game. And then from there, I got scouted to go to Switzerland.
Mm-hmm.
So I moved from Gateshead to Zurich. I was in Zurich for 2 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was playing in Zurich. That was a crazy situation as well. Like
Why?
just like the way like my trials went, and it's people don't realize how much you go through as a footballer, and like the career you choose. It's very lonely and it's very tough because like when you go for trials, no one really cares about you. You're just another number, and like there's hundreds and hundreds of other trialists that are there. So if you make it or you don't make it, it doesn't really affect them.
Yeah.
They have no loyalty to you. Wow. So it's a really tough, and I'm just so grateful that I had my support system.
Yeah.
During that time, because for me that was the worst. Like mentally, I was in the worst place possible. But unfortunately, I got injured in Switzerland, and
No.
to this day, like I haven't played football since then.
No.
Yeah. So I don't play football actually as much anymore, at all actually.
Oh. How do you feel about that?
I've sort of come to accept it now.
Mm-hmm.
It was really tough. So essentially what happened, I got injured on my foot. I had 2 tumors on my nerves in my right foot. So I had to have surgery to get them out.
Uh-huh.
So when the surgery happened, I couldn't walk for like six weeks. And then it was like a 4 to 6 month recovery period.
Jeez.
And in football, unfortunately, 4 to 6 months is a long time.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that can replace you. So I remember coming back to Switzerland, they were like, listen, like, you're just not fit enough. You're not strong enough. So I said, okay, thanks, guys. I moved to London for different reasons. But so I moved to London, 1, for my recovery.
Yeah.
And 2, we won't mention the other reason. But hey, I don't know why everyone's laughing now.
Because of the way you made it, it's like them ones where you're like, okay, I'm not gonna say.
Yeah.
But because you said it like that,
Yeah,
it's like
nah.
if people are probably watching, like, what was it? Or they can make their own prejudgments.
Yeah, make your own assumptions. But yeah, so I moved to London for 2 things, football and this other reason. And I just found myself not being able to catch up. Like I was playing catch up all the time, and I wasn't like good enough anymore.
Yeah.
And the day I realized, like, okay, Seb, like, this is not for you anymore. I
Yeah.
went for trials at a League One team, which is, so it goes Premier League, Championship, League One, League Two. So it's like the 3rd tier of football, which
Okay.
it's very, very good.
Yeah.
I trained with the first team for like 30 minutes, and the coach said, like, listen, Seb, like, let's put you with the under 23s because you're not ready. Under 23s, I was not good enough again.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, like, I can't do anything more. Like, my body's just physically not letting me
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
Then they said, okay, maybe you're just nervous. We'll put you with the under 18s.
Mm.
So I've gone from like first team, and I'm
Wow.
21 at the time.
Yeah.
First team, second team. Now I'm with the under 18s. And these kids are schooling me. And like they're dribbling past me, and I just can't keep up with them.
Yeah.
And that was the day, like, I remember I took a train. I was taking a train back. I was in Dover at the time.
Yo.
I played the game, and I remember just like phoning my parents, and I had like a black eye, and I was just like, I got elbowed.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, what happened?
I didn't fight anyone. I got elbowed, and I just remember being on the train. I was just so lonely. It was cold. I was by myself, and I was just there sitting, and I was thinking to myself, is this like the life I want? Like grafting as much as I can, but it just seems like keep playing catch up. And so I just phoned my parents. I said, listen, guys, like, I have to just be honest with you. I just can't take it anymore. Like mentally, I just couldn't. And also, I just wasn't good enough. And a lot of people won't admit that. You know, I'm very open to say, like, I wasn't good enough to make it to the Premier League, and that's okay. It's fine. Not everyone can make it to the Premier League. There's like what 25 players per 20 teams. Like it's to make it there is incredible. And my friends who play in the Premier League, like I've got so much respect for them, and especially guys who come from Africa and for Zim because it's close to me. The journey they've been on to get to where they are is something that a lot of people don't realize. And I was fortunate enough that I had a nice apartment wherever I went. I had a roof over my head. I had food. I had whatever I wanted. But I still struggled, and I still had those mental battles. And people don't realize some of these guys come from nothing, and they're put in the worst sort of accommodation. No one cares about them. They've got no money to buy food. They're cold, but they still made it. So the respect I have for professional athletes, one, and then athletes who have come from Africa to make it, and obviously around the world, but Africa resonates with me because I'm from there. It's incredible. So like the respect I have for athletes it's a different level now.
But did you naturally have this mentality that's like, okay, if it's for me, it's for me. If it's not for me, it's not for me. Or did you have to develop that over time?
I had to develop it because at one point I sort of convinced myself this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And also I haven't actually ever spoken about this, but there was this pressure that I put on myself to hold this image of like Sebastian the footballer. Because my whole life, since 10 years old after watching World Cup, my dad, my parents, my friends, everybody told me Seb the footballer, Seb football, Seb. It was always Sebastian and football. So for me, if now I stop playing football, it's like, what is Sebastian? Who is he?
Wow.
The last year in Zurich, I was just playing football, just literally for the reason of, so people would say I'm still playing football. It wasn't for me. And it was a tough thing mentally because I was battling against myself. My heart wanted something different, but my head was like, no, you have to do it because people are going to talk badly about you. People are going to judge you. I wasn't strong enough at the time to face like the backlash on social media and to face the things because obviously I got it quite a bit. I got like a lot of stick for playing national team. A lot of people said that the way I got there wasn't legit and I paid my way, and a lot of newspapers like twisted my story. And
what's the reason that some people used to say that?
I think it was because, again, it's a weird thing in Zim. White people don't play football. White people play cricket and rugby.
Yeah.
And there's only like a handful of white people that play football. And it's just because, I guess, in the local schools, like, football was never a sport that was put on a pedestal. Like, rugby and cricket were always the two sports you had to do. Like, I think they were mandatory, actually, in most schools. So, when I was playing football, it was, like, something new. And it was like, oh, we can take the nick out of him because he's different. And he's an easy target. Because as a white person, they just automatically assumed, oh, he's got money and he's just paying his way there. Little did they know that I was actually at the trials every single day and I was there from morning to evening. And yeah, so it was tough. Like, I guess also the headlines were very easy to write.
Yeah.
Because it was easy to attack. And they were like, oh, Sebastian is doing this or Sebastian's doing that. So my name in the newspaper was always something that I got used to. But I just wasn't ready to face that. To go back and say like, okay, I'm not playing football anymore, guys. Now what are you going to say?
Yeah.
And then it would have been like, oh, he failed. You see, this is what happens when you pay your way. All this type of things, even though none of it was true and none of them actually realized what my story was. I was still a kid. I couldn't hack it. I didn't want to deal with that. But now I'm so open to it. Like, I don't really mind. And I use social media now as a platform for kids in Zim to uplift them and to use my network and my presence on the social media platforms to bring them over and to give them the voice that they don't have, basically.
Yeah, and how do you prepare these young kids who are aspiring footballers for the fact that, one, they may or may not make it, and two, even if they make it, within that process, the world can be a very cruel place.
Yeah. It's a very tough conversation, and that's why I've got a lot of collaboration with schools. So all the players that I help in my foundation are all contracted to a school. So no matter what, they go through school. So we do a scholarship program where if we believe a player is good enough and they have a criteria that I myself made with different coaches from around the world. If they tick all the boxes, I will pay for their school fees from whatever day they join to the end, so that at least they have schooling to back on. It's a tough conversation like to have to say like, listen guys, like, okay, you might not make it.
Yeah.
But for them, like even the parents, they don't want to hear that.
Of course,
Like,
it's
they
like,
don't even- it's like, don't
my
even-
child will,
Yeah,
they
it's like
will win.
no matter what.
Yeah.
Don't even bring that energy here.
Wow.
And you sort of have to have this conversation because it's tough when I've had so many of my boys go for trials.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, some haven't made it. Some have made it.
Yeah.
But the ones who haven't made it go back home and the parents phone me like, why didn't he make it? How come he's not signed? And for me to say like, he wasn't good enough. And like, it's so hard to make it pro.
Jeez.
And people also don't realize that making it pro and earning a living from football is two different levels.
What?
So I played, you could consider it pro.
Yeah.
But what I was earning wasn't sufficient enough to fuel the lifestyle I wanted.
Wow.
So
Okay.
you can play like in the 3rd division or 2nd division in any country, and that's considered professional football.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not earning 20, 30,000 a week. You might be earning 2,000 a week. That's what people don't realize, is that making it professional is not the same as making a living from it.
Wow.
And that's what I try to tell and teach a lot of people, that listen guys, like, I can take you to Europe, no problem. But coming to Europe doesn't mean you've made it. And that's the big like stigma behind football in Africa, is that if you come out of Africa, you've made it. But it's not true. Even if you're outside of Africa, you're still not going to put food on the table for your family back home.
So how are some of these footballers who've made it out of Africa, but they're not earning enough? How are they surviving?
They get jobs. Like there's horror stories of agents bringing African players over
Yeah, I've heard about this.
and they leave them in Poland or these other countries,
Mm-hmm.
and they're just there on a visitor's visa, and it's just like, okay, now what?
Yeah.
The team doesn't want me. My accommodation's run out. Now what? Now they have to like seek asylum, or they have to get a job, or they have to move to another country. And it happens every single day. And there's hundreds and hundreds of players
Yeah.
that have been taken from Africa by crooked agents or by crooked people,
Yeah.
and they're stuck. And you literally can't do anything about it because they don't have a ticket to go back home. They don't have an income. They're not meant to be in the country they're at. So if they go to the authorities or anything, they'll get locked up because they're there illegally. So there's like this cycle of, what do we do now?
Wait, hold up. Like,
Yeah.
my journalist mind is like churning right now because, firstly, that's really horrible to hear. Unfortunately, I've heard it before, but it's always something else hearing it from someone like yourself, because you're in that world and you've probably seen it,
Yeah.
witnessed it, or people have reached out to you. But I have so many questions. So what you're saying is sometimes you will have an agent, right? Or someone posing as an agent, then identifies this person who's an aspiring footballer. Already there's a hook there because this person is hungry for something.
Anything.
Aye.
They
So
want
then
anything.
would they then take care of like their flights and all the stuff, take them to this country? And then what happens when they get
So there's a lot of different ways that these guys do it. So the way it should work,
yeah.
the way that it's the right route. So I'll
This
tell you,
is key to
this
know.
is the key. The right route, usually, one, as an agent, you need to be licensed by FIFA. So you can't just be an agent for the sake. Like, I'm not a licensed agent, but I work with licensed agents. So one, you have to have a license. Two, you can't move players under the age of 18.
Fair enough.
That's basic rule.
Yeah.
Three, every single club that you go for trials, they will invite you. So you'll have a paper from the club that you can present now to the respective country's embassy in your country. So if it's a team in Turkey, it will say, okay, X team is inviting X player
Yeah.
to come from this date to this date. Please, Turkish ambassador, can you give him a visa? And you present it, and that's the legit way it goes. Then that player will go over. Usually, the team does pay for their flights and accommodation always. They always pay for accommodation. Usually, the player will need to pay for the flights or the agent. So, like, I would pay for my player's flight, and I'll get reimbursed if the player signs. the way these other agents do it is they catch you with the hook of saying, this team wants you, but just pay for your flights. Just come to Europe and then I'll take you there.
Wow.
And I don't see the benefit behind it, because a lot of the time players will raise money, they'll sell their cars, they'll work, they'll do whatever just to get a bit of money to send to this agent. The agent will bring them over and just leave them at the airport.
So now these people are desolate. They are stuck, and is there anything within the football industry that has been set up to try and help people? Because if it's a known issue within the football industry, surely there's someone trying to help?
There is, but then it's this grey area of, did you do your due diligence? Because FIFA can't take responsibility, because if an agent approaches you, your first question should be, can I see your agent's license? Once you have that, if you've got the guy's agent's license, then you can actually report it to FIFA and say, this guy is a crook, he did this, this, and this.
Yeah.
But even then, people now have agents' licenses and they work with crooked people. So there's people within the system that aren't legit as well. So they'll use an agent's license, they'll bring a player over. Yes, they might go to a club, but it's not what they promised. They'll say, oh, the club's going to pay you 2,000 euros a week and accommodation and transport. No, the club's going to pay you 250 euros a week. You have to pay for accommodation and transport.
Aye.
So the trial might be legit. So it's true. But the deal that was presented is not legit. And the reason they do it is because the club will pay the agent for, it's like cheap labor.
Yeah.
You know, they're literally taking African players, using them,
Yeah.
extorting them from their talent,
Yeah.
and just letting them rot for them to win the league or whatever it is. So they'll pay the agent to say, okay, here's the 3,000 euros we're meant to pay the player. We'll give him 250. You take your money and do your thing. Find us another player. So I'm battling that. I'm trying to stop that from happening from Zim players. Because I'm very protective of Zimbabwean people and Zim players. So it's like, I want to make sure all of them, no matter where they are in the world, even if they're playing pro right now, try and get them the proper route, regardless of how it works.
So how would somebody, because you said you work with FIFA
Registered
agents,
yeah,
right?
And agencies.
So if you were to approach somebody, how would they make sure that you are legit?
So the way that I would do it is I would introduce them to the agency.
Okay.
So straight away, I've got nothing to hide. I'll say, listen, I'm working with X, Y, and Z from this agency. They can Google it. They can do whatever they want. And they'll see online that it says, okay, damn, these guys are legit.
Yeah.
And also one thing I guess I'm very fortunate about is that my name in Zim holds some sort of value and some sort of trust, because people know that I've been on this journey. And I've also spoken about it openly, like on podcasts, in the newspapers. Like, I'll tell people I do this. And I don't want a situation where one of my players has something bad to say and say, no, actually, he said what he's saying is the opposite of what he's doing.
Yeah.
I can't afford to do that. My name is, it means too much. I've got too much integrity. And also, I want to help. I genuinely want people to play professional football from them.
Yeah. So as someone with natural hair, I know all about the joys and sometimes the struggles of not only achieving but maintaining healthy hair. That's why I started using Bella Vista. These products have been so healthy and nourishing for my hair that I'm more confident wearing less wigs and more of my hair out and natural styles like these braids. Bella Vista isn't just another beauty brand. It's a movement, honey. Their all-natural products are designed to tackle hair loss, alopecia, and dryness whilst keeping your hair thriving. I've got 4 of their products right here, and trust me, they deliver. Plus, they don't just do products for hair, also for your skin. But let's talk firstly about this extreme hair growth. It will have you saying goodbye to balding, graying, and dandruff. This powerhouse nourishes from root to tip. And I live by Jamaican castor oil all day, every day. It's great for thickening your hair and strengthening those roots. But also, you know me, honey. I'm all about luxury. This Caviar Luxury Hair Growth and Shampoo will also nourish your scalp, leave your hair moisturized, and best of all, strengthen your hair. If you're ready for real results, check out Bella Vista today, because good hair days should be every day. Now let's get back to the show. So your foundation, tell me about it and what inspired it and what you do.
Yeah. So my foundation is the SRS Foundation, which is my name, Sebastian Richard Summerfield,
Okay.
like your podcast, Nyasha Michelle, cooking. But yeah, no. So SRS Foundation, I've been doing it for many years.
Yeah.
So the way it came about was I just started donating like old clothes, old football boots to the local communities and local teams. But when I was playing in Europe and anywhere, to be honest, I got a lot of people giving me stuff to say like, I'll just take it back home, because these guys are getting new boots like every week.
Yeah.
They just throw away the boots. I was like going through the dustbins and taking the boots home. So the one time I think when I realized, okay, this can be something really big, was when I did a donation, and I think the Herald or H Metro covered it,
Mm-hmm.
and a sponsor got in touch with me,
Mm-hmm.
and they said, "Hi Sebastian, we love the work you're doing. We'd like to sponsor a tournament or something." And I was like, okay, but how does that look? Like, they can't just give me money as Sebastian. It needs to be something. So that's when I created the foundation.
Okay.
So the foundation's been around for 2 years now, I think. And I've been doing different things. So we've got kit donations, development of football teams, like development of football grounds, so actually building football pitches, donation of football boots, football balls, the scholarship program where we help kids who are good at football and need the educational background. And we've also diversified it and also added women's football and
It's good.
and also people with disabilities,
Oh, amazing.
because unfortunately a lot of girls play football for the wrong reasons.
Really?
In the sense that some girls are playing football because they get a house and they get food, but they don't want to be playing football. So we help them and say, okay, what do you want to do? If you want to be a dressmaker, if you want to be a chef, if you want to be a doctor, whatever it is you want to do, let us know, so you don't have to feel forced to play football.
Okay.
So they'll come to us and say, oh, you know what, I'm playing football, but I really want to be dressmaker. So I'll get in touch with the contacts I have in Zim and say, listen, I've got a young girl who's an aspiring dressmaker. Can you give her a chance? Then I'll talk to the football team and say, listen, how do we do it? So
Yeah.
I still want her to live there because she's getting food and accommodation. What do I have to pay for her not to play football, but to stay there and to go do what she wants to do?
Does that impact those who actually want to play football? The girls?
Not really, because it actually frees up spaces for girls who want to play football.
All right.
So then it just works like a cool cycle. So girls will come and say, I don't want to be a dressmaker, I want to play football.
Yeah.
It's like we just swap them.
Yeah.
So it works really, really well.
Okay.
So yeah, it's been really good. And obviously, His Excellency the President did speak to me about it, which was an amazing time. And he recognized the work that we've been doing. And there's a few projects that I'd like to propose, which I think will be really beneficial.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's an exciting time ahead for football, because for me, I've realized that football isn't just a sport in Zim. It's a community. Like, people love it, and it can bring communities together. I remember when we went to Mbare, like, the whole town was there. Everyone was there.
Yeah.
Grannies, grandpas, grandchildren, everything you could think of. People from every walks of life, like
Yeah.
bartenders to my deal guys to everybody were there.
Yeah.
And we even had like high executives from banks and stuff like that came to watch a football game. I'm just thinking to myself, we're in the middle of Mbare, where no one usually goes, but everyone's here. So in my head, that clicked and said, listen, we can use this to our advantage and build a community, because these communities unfortunately feel like they're broken and not heard. So that's where I'm going to use sport for them to come together and feel like they're heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things I want to ask you from that. Firstly, you met ED, the president.
Yes.
I remember when I saw you and you were flying out that day.
Yeah.
And you were like, yeah, this is something that I hope is going to happen. And then you posted it on your socials and I sent you a message like, it happened.
You did it. Yeah. It was amazing. And honestly, he is an amazing human, and just the things he does for the country that a lot of people don't see is incredible. So it was just such an honor and a privilege for me to meet him.
So what were the circumstances? What were the circumstances that made you meet the president
So
of the country?
it was I think there was another person there as well who was on his educational scholarship, who did really, really well, and I think they passed the exams with like full marks.
Yeah.
So they were visiting, and they wanted to include me in it as well because they wanted to see how maybe his scholarship program and his educational program can mix with the football program.
I
So my players that are
see.
playing football, that they can maybe go to the school that's sponsored by the president or by
Yeah.
the people around him.
Yeah.
So when we went there, we spoke, and he said, "No, I've heard a lot about you, and obviously my sons know who you are because they've seen me around in the football because the president loves football.
Okay.
He's a football fanatic, so it was
Okay.
amazing to be there and just speak to him because he used to play football when he was younger. So yeah, it was great just speaking about it and giving my future plans and ideas, and seeing that that's something that maybe if he has time, would be willing to
Yeah.
combine with me and do.
What would you say to people who may politicize you meeting the president, even though, as you say, it was for the work that you're doing for different communities?
Have you met the president?
Okay.
That's the first thing I'll ask them, because the media and everything that's portrayed about him, he is the number one figure in the country. He's the face of the country. So obviously people are going to have opinions. But the things that he's doing and my experience with it is only been positive and only looks like it's going to be on an up trajectory. So when people want to politicize it, they can, because he's the number one political figure in the country. I have only confidence in him and only confidence in what he's doing and his team around him, because, for example, football was banned, but under him, it was unbanned, and now we're going to AFCON. So
Wait, what?
we were banned from football. So
What?
my national team, the under-20 team that I was playing in, yeah, I forgot to mention this, we were banned for 2 years.
Why?
Government interference. Basically, ZIFA was interfered by the SRC. So SRC is the Sports and Recreation Committee.
Yeah.
And they did like a check on it, and they said they weren't happy with certain things. And FIFA didn't acknowledge it because the SRC is a governmental organization. And in every country, though, the Football Federation cannot be run or interfered by
Okay, yeah.
governments.
That makes sense.
So when the SRC intervened, but they didn't really intervene, they just went and said, they've expressed their concerns. That's some sort of interference. So FIFA said, no, you guys are completely banned. So for 2 years, we didn't play. We didn't play football.
And then the president came and changed that.
The strategies he employed to the Ministry of Sport and the SRC, he signed off a lot of documentation that would allow them to interfere, so that the ban was carried on, but it was cleaned at the same time.
Okay.
So under him, we got unbanned.
You know, this thing of people sometimes politicizing, for example, a moment like when you met the president, it reminds me of something that I was listening to recently, but not just even this situation. For example, these major world sports events taking place in places like Saudi Arabia and Qatar, and you've got kind of like two sides of the argument. You have these people who are probably players or different people within the football industry who are like, football is football. Let us keep it that way. This is not the place for us to now be questioning a country about their human rights abuses, etc. And then you have other people who are like, well, you have a level of influence. These are the times to be talking about that. Now bringing it back to you meeting ED, like some people may have politicized it because they can be like, yo, Sebastian, look at the country, look at whatever it is that is happening, right? This is not me saying my opinion. This is me just saying what people would probably think or the reasons behind it. Some people may be like, wait, look at what's happening within the country, maybe freedom of speech, whatever, the economy, etc., etc. This can't be a positive affiliation, or they may criticize it from that perspective. What do you say to that?
So I did get a lot of like negative connotations to it. They're like, oh no, this is bad.
Yeah.
But they don't know the truth behind it.
Okay.
So it can just be on face value, it may look bad. I don't think it looks bad because I had the conversation, and I know that the plans are gonna come to fruition eventually. You know, so that's unfortunately a lot of people will judge very quickly, and they don't look at the bigger picture. It's like, okay, you met him, but why is there no football pitch built tomorrow? Because that's not the priority for the country right now. Like, it's a process, and I know that my process and my time will eventually come. So that's why I'm not worried about it. I'm still gonna do the things I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
But it is sad that people do always automatically judge and automatically say things like, oh, but this and that. But that has
Yeah.
nothing to do with me and with what I'm doing. You know, like there's other people that deal with that. It's not Sebastian Summerfield, who's a small fish and just has his football foundation.
Your foundation, you're clearly trying to make a difference in your own way. But also, when it comes to people having opinions
Yeah.
and you drawing the headlines, one of the fairly recent headlines was you gifted Davido this chain, this piece of jewelry. So tell me the story behind that before I talk about how some people reacted on the socials. What was that?
Yeah.
How did that happen, etc.?
So that's just a business venture that I'm getting into.
Yeah.
So my brothers and I have started a jewelry and luxury watch company. So I was very privileged to meet Davido, who I think is a phenomenal artist, and just the way his music, it's not just music, it touches a lot of people. So through a mutual friend who I consider like a big brother, he gave me the opportunity to meet him, and I just gifted him. It was a bracelet from my brother's company, basically, in Zambia. So yeah, I met him, and yeah, I gifted it, but I know the connotations that came with that, and that was one of the toughest things I had to face, actually,
Really?
because I got a lot of hate on that, and I got a lot of things that a lot of people didn't see, and I don't really talk about it, but like I'm happy to speak about it. But I got people coming in to like my dad's store, for example, asking, where's Sebastian? When I'd go out in Zim, like a lot of people were asking, oh, aren't you that guy who gave Davido this and that? But
Yeah.
also the problem in Zim, not in Zim, but like in the media, is that people don't know the full story. And that's something I've learned. And that's why I didn't play into it, because they said, oh, it was worth X amount. They had no idea what I gifted him.
That's a good point, because I saw a lot of headlines about how much it was worth, and I'm like,
Yeah.
how do they know that? But carry on, please.
Yeah, so a lot of people don't realize that what I gifted him was something that we thought was very sentimental to Zambia, because the company's in Zambia. So the aquamarine. So aquamarine is a semi-precious stone gem, actually, that you find a lot of in Zambia. So we're like, it's fitting because this is our company.
Yeah.
So we gifted that to him. I don't know where people got their number, that number from, but I remember I got a lot of calls after that when it came, and people were saying like, Seb, like you've effed up badly here.
Wow.
And I was like, why? And he's like,
Yeah.
no, your brand, and how can you do this? Because I guess I didn't think about it, but a lot of people thought you're trying to help people, but you're gifting an artist something. Where's the correlation? And it's tough because all the businesses and all the things I do comes from me. So it's Sebastian Summerfield's foundation, Sebastian Summerfield's jewelry. I need to now separate myself from that.
Okay.
So I understand why I got like the hate and the phone calls at 3 a.m. saying like, oh, we know where you are.
3
Things like that.
a.m.
Yeah, no.
We know where you are. What
Yeah.
does that mean?
I don't know. It's just
Wow.
things like that people will probably now realize like, oh shit, like this guy, it's a lot to be in the spotlight. But I'm not even a celebrity. I'm not anyone of major influence, but people go through things a lot, and that it's tough because when you don't know how to deal with it, you don't know how to play on it, because a lot of people I know would fight against it, say no, it's not worth this, it's this. But that's what people want. People are trying to get you to say the wrong things. It's business at the end of the day. You know, Davido's probably the biggest artist from Africa. Let's be honest. You know, he's massive. And he's respected and got fans from around the whole world. So if I'm able to gift him something from the business I'm trying to start, I'm going to do it. Because I still have to make money, you know, and I still have to do things.
So,
So,
was
yeah.
it a marketing tactic, would you say?
No, it wasn't marketing tactic because I'd gift, even if he wasn't Davido, I would gift him something. So regardless, it's just coincidence that he is a major A-list celebrity. But I was giving other people things as well. It's not just him. And
Yeah.
like a lot of people don't realize, but I've gifted a lot of things to Zim artists as well. Because I've been doing this jewelry thing for a long time. It's not like all of a sudden I'm a jeweler. I've been doing it. So I just never used social media to my like benefit, I guess. I just never thought it was necessary.
Saka, maybe that's one of the reasons why. Because if people are associating you normally with being this footballer who has been on the ground, who's got this foundation, trying to make changes in these different spaces
Yeah.
across the country, and then suddenly, hey, he's blinging out Davido.
That's the thing. I think a lot of people, again, people don't know the full story. People assume that I bought this piece of jewelry
Right.
and I gifted it.
Right.
People don't realize I made it.
Oh,
There's the big thing.
okay.
People think I went to a shop, bought it for X amount, which I don't know where they got that price from, but I bought it and I've gifted it to him. So that's why I understand the hate and why would you do this? Because I was getting people calling me saying, you could have built a hospital with the money that you... And I was like, guys, okay, cool, I could have. But what you're reading is not true. I didn't buy it. I made it. I created it. So it didn't cost me anything. It cost obviously labor, whatever. But that's the thing. Like there's this weird stigma and like this weird thing around it where people love to make the headlines. They love to say things without knowing the full thing. And the worst part is I didn't even know people were talking about me online. I was getting calls from my cousins saying like, Seb, are you okay? And I was like, why? What's the problem? They're like, no, but people are outraged with you online. I don't know what you saw. Like I can ask you, like, what did you see? How did you...
I saw, of course, a lot of reports about what's the main thing? Chris Brown is in South Africa. Yeah. Sold out within however many minutes or whatever. And then anything to do with it, there was a lot of talk, right? And then I just saw at some stage, I saw a video of you gifting him. It was a bracelet. And some of the things that I just saw were just like generic.
Yeah.
But then I saw a lot of articles or people talking about the value of it. And people being like, wait, like, how could he be doing this when he's supposed to be helping people? And that's why it makes sense for what you said, like, oh, you could have built a hospital and all this stuff. But in hindsight, is there anything that you would have done differently with this situation?
100%. And that's what life's about, is about learning.
Yeah.
And it's tough. I had to learn it in a very, very hard way.
Yeah.
And in a way that I wish I didn't have to. And like, I'll openly say, like, I do apologize to anybody that I sort of affected if people thought that I did it in the wrong way. Like, my intentions were never to make people feel that I'm just like marketing it and I'm not taking in consideration what our country's, like what my main goal is to help the country. So I do understand like the negative opinions. But one thing I do, which is crazy that I'm doing it here, like to clear my name. I don't really need to clear it because I understand what I did. Yeah, it's just tough. Like, it's just weird. It's just a really weird situation. But to answer your question, what I would do differently would probably not use my name. So
Gotcha.
It's not Sebastian Summerfield gifting it. Rather, the company gifted it.
Gotcha.
But it's tough when you want to use your name to leverage. So it's just like one of those things you have to sort of learn as you go. It's a big learning lesson, especially with the type of people I was associated with, because these are big guys in the industry. So it came very quickly, and yeah, it's tough because it was my first experience doing something like that with someone of such a high like respect and sort of value. If I was to do it differently, I'd just separate myself completely from it.
I see.
So not Sebastian Summerfield gifting it,
yeah.
rather Company X gifting it. Which the company I can say it's called Senecal.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got 2 brothers, so it's our names together,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the company that gifted it to him.
And you know what that really naturally leads me to is, like we said earlier, today is your birthday.
Yeah.
And you're on my podcast. I still will say that. I'm like actually pleasantly surprised by that.
Yeah.
Today's your birthday and you're turning 23. So you're still very young. I'm
But I
sounding
feel
like
old.
an auntie.
No, I do feel old though.
How do you feel? Well, you've
no.
had some life experience,
No,
is what I would say.
I'm a Bali, as people would say. I've aged, and yeah, no, 23 feels like 35. Yeah, I'm ready to retire. Like
I mean, you could be ready to retire if you got the money, but
I don't got the money yet. But I'm ready to go on my farm in Zim with my mombes, my hukus.
And
my
what else?
chibage.
You're not gonna be by yourself, are you?
I won't be by myself.
Who you gonna be with, Sebastian?
My future wife.
Your future wife.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. On this your farm, you said you're gonna have your mombes, which are cows, by the way, and you're gonna have your hukus, which are chickens. Who else are you gonna be with?
I'm sure there has to be a special lady or someone
Yes.
who there will be eventually.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is there a special lady in the horizon, or is there one that you've got your eye on, like, you know what, that would be my wife one day?
I'll say this: there is the one.
Okay.
You know, when people talk about the one,
Such a beautiful thing.
and I believe in the one.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you know what? Life is all about the journey, and if paths cross, then they cross. If they don't, they don't. But yeah, I'm sure there will be. I hope. I can't be on the farm by myself.
That's be on the farm by
no,
yourself.
that's crazy.
It will get a little
Yeah,
bit
no,
boring after a while.
There's always the one,
Okay.
and yeah.
Okay. Do you have a celebrity crush?
Hey, sure, that's a tough one. I wouldn't call it a crush, but I do like, for example, like Tyler's vibe. She's dope.
Yeah.
I like Tyler a lot. She's really cool.
Mm.
I watched a movie yesterday, and Megan Fox is just like, she's ridiculous.
Megan Fox has always been
Like,
the
no, but like,
one.
damn, Megan
Yeah.
Fox is
Yeah.
really like, damn.
Yeah, I'm on the same page as
Shit.
you. She's
No,
beautiful.
she's stunning. Yeah, no, SZA's also beautiful.
Oh,
Yeah, SZA's.
SZA with Kendrick on the stage.
That's crazy, by the way. I'm Team
Let
Drake.
us not even go. You're Team Drake?
100%.
Okay.
Kendrick's dope.
It
Don't
doesn't
get me
mean
wrong.
that you're going to get thrown out of the
What, you like-
podcast.
you're Team Kendrick?
I haven't said anything yet.
No, but you've just
We were
implied.
literally
That's
segueing into-
crazy. Okay, yeah, we segued away now.
Why are you Team Drake? Sorry, I feel like I'm judging you. Sorry, this is a
No.
non-judgmental space.
Yeah.
Let me ask you properly.
I like both of them. I like Kendrick and Drake.
Okay.
I just don't like beef. They need to sort it out. I'm sure they
Wow.
him and Meek, like the same way Drake and Meek made a song, you're gonna see all of a sudden Kendrick featuring Drake. Trust.
Listen, I also like the way that you said it. You said Kendrick featuring Drake. It ain't Drake featuring Kendrick. Let me just say.
Anyway.
And I think that actually shows which team I'm on. But we're not going to go into that. You know
Yeah.
when we're going to get into that is a few months from now is when we do Sebastian Summerfield with Nyasha Michelle 2.0. So
Okay.
the next time
100%.
we come together, taste all of those like
Yeah.
Zim the snacks and
Snacks.
stuff like that, and we do cooking with Nyasha,
100%.
and then we see what's happened with the Kendrick and Drake beef. But
For sure.
I do want to go back a little bit
Okay.
to your farm,
Yeah.
because of course on your farm you're gonna have a lovely lady there,
Yeah.
and you said you believe in the one.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
do.
So this leads me on to our segment called Pass the Mic. There you go. See, I like it. You know, I like it. You just flow into it.
Give it to me.
In Pass the Mic, the guest before me answers a question that was left by the previous guest. So the previous guest that I had was Ray Vanny.
Okay.
And his question is, do you believe in true love?
I do. I do believe in true love. Um, I think I've experienced true love.
Oh,
Hey, now we're getting deep, but like,
let's go deeper.
I do. No, I do believe in true love,
Yeah.
and I think true love is such a beautiful thing, and it's definitely something people need
Yeah.
in this world currently, because there's so much going on, and there's so much terrible things in the world that the one thing that can hold people together is love. But yeah, that true love is very special, and I do pray for people that don't have it, that they do find it, and I pray that people have it, that they keep it.
Yeah.
And because you don't realize how much you love something until it's gone, type thing.
True.
And it's important, if you love something, hold on to it as much as you can.
Listen to this guy talking like he's speaking from experience.
No, I'm just talking. My TikTok is that's my For You page algorithm.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah,
That is
algorithm.
the algorithm page. I love that. Thank you very much. Now you get to pass the mic. What is one question you want to leave for our next guest?
Damn, that's a tough one.
You can take your time.
What do you think our purpose is on Earth?
Wow.
That's my question.
Okay.
So
All
what's,
right.
What's our true? You can just say what's our true purpose if you want to shorten it. So what's our true purpose on Earth?
Okay. I think that
Or
is
in
a
life, yeah.
very strong one, which actually I was talking to my colleagues about very recently.
Okay.
And I think now more than ever, I think about it more often. Like for myself, like what is my true purpose?
Yeah.
Like I know that I've found my passion 100%, because I actually didn't start off as a journalist. I did something completely different for a while. I had a different career. And then I realized, oh, this is my passion. And then I got into that. And then, of course, I want that to always be evolving. I don't want that to be the only thing I want to be doing. But I realized that is definitely my passion. But what is my purpose?
Yeah. Purpose is interesting.
That is a good one. Thank you so much. I cannot wait for my next guest to answer that.
Be good.
Yeah. And then I will be sure to let you know what they say.
For sure. They got me in my feels now. I'm going to be listening to Drake now on the way out of here. Marvin's Room and all of that. Doing it wrong. Damn it, man. Got me in my feels. Yeah.
You're welcome. You are
I
welcome.
need
That's
Suds and Stew now to get me out of this.
to
God
toughen
damn
you
it.
up.
Damn
No,
it.
but it's good. It's good. Especially, I think those are some of the characteristics of strong people, especially strong men. Men who are able to feel comfortable in their feels
course.
and be,
We stay in our fields, yeah. We stay in that shit.
a true Zimbabwean man.
Hey, Zim men are the best men.
You know what? I'm not even going to say any comment when it comes to Zimbabwean guys. I'm going to nicely segue. So this is the trending segment of With Nyasha Michelle. And Sebastian, I've got 2 questions for you. And the first one, there's a growing trend of African footballers being undervalued in European football. Do you think that this is something that's going to change anytime in the future?
I do think so, because African footballers are starting to become better than European footballers. And I think with the growth of, like, for example, Mohamed Salah, how well he's doing, and the way that so many African footballers are doing so well in their respective leagues, definitely the value of African footballers is going to go up. And you should get in on it before we're invaluable or too valuable. I don't know.
I think it's too valuable.
Oh, yeah, not invaluable. Not invaluable. Too valuable.
All right. A lot of footballers are jumping on the trend of creating content, right?
Yeah.
They've got their podcasts, they've got their YouTube channels. Do you think it's a smart choice, or they should just stick to their day job?
I think it's a good choice. I think it's good for footballers to let people know that we're also human, and that we want to do weird things as well. We want to be on a podcast. We want to have a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And also, just people don't realize that being a footballer is so stressful that every single day we have to have this positive mindset, and we always have to be happy and look good because there's always people looking at us. So also it just gives us the insight of what it's like to be a footballer in the day of their life and see the stresses people go through. and for people to realize that being a footballer is like any other job. It is just another job. It's a very cool job,
Yeah.
but it is just another job that you come to work, you do your job, you go home.
Okay.
So yeah,
All
I
right.
think it's good.
Thank you so much for joining me on the podcast. It's been really cool sitting here and talking to you about your life, the ups, the downs, and the I don't know what I'm going to do about that. The reason why I mentioned earlier your age, of course, today is your birthday. You turned 23 and you are quite prevalent on social media. And you've gone through some of your own ups and your downs. There's so many young people who have achieved a level of success similar to yours or greater or whatever. What would you say to them when they have, in some people's eyes, including their own eyes, maybe dropped the ball?
One thing I can say is just take a step back. You're doing okay. Like, you are doing great. And it's tough, especially for young people. There's so much pressure on us because of social media and pressure that we've created ourselves. No one's giving us this pressure. But just, you're doing fine. And it's okay to make mistakes. And at the end of the day, do things that make you happy, not what makes other people happy. Because if you're living in someone else's life, you're going to lose yourself. So don't lose yourself in someone else's life.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And on that note, I would like to say thank you so much for joining me on with Nyasha Michelle. And I would love for us to join you again, maybe this time, Kumwiri Kwema Kungwa. That's how you say it? Kumbare in Mbare in Zimbabwe. But before we go, there's a lot of people who want to know more about you and also your foundation. So just tell us where we can find your information.
No, I mean, if anyone ever needs like any help or anything, just wants to talk, like, I'm always open for people to message me. So I'm on Instagram. It's just Sebastian_Summerfield. My business is SRS Foundation Zimbabwe, and my jewelry page, which is not yet out, but it's on Instagram. It's just Senecal ENT.
How do you spell Senecal?
SENICOL.
Okay.
Senecal.
All right.
Yeah.
Sebastian Summerfield, thank you again for joining me
Nyasha
on
Michelle.
This guy, I love the way you say my name. We'll see you again. Thank you.